After hard-fought wins in the quarterfinals of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, Spain and Sweden battled on Tuesday, on Fox and the Fox Sports app, in a true back-and-forth affair. Both squads entered unscathed, and it was even for most of the match until a flurry of activity from the 80th minute and beyond, where there were 3 goals scored in just 10 minutes of game action. For Spain, the win gives the team its first ever appearance in a final at the World Cup, led by young superstar Salma Paralluelo, who delivered the first goal of the match for Spain. Later, Olga Carmona would add the winner for Spain just 1 minute after Rebecca Blomqvist knotted the game for Sweden. A pulsating second half between Spain and Sweden produced 3 goals in 9 minutes as a fizzed strike from fullback Olga Carmona on the brink of stoppage time nudged La Roja into their first major tournament final. Carmona received a short corner kick on the left edge of the penalty area and rifled a shot off the underside of the crossbar, stunning Swedish goalkeeper Zsura Musovic, one of the stars of this year's Women's World Cup, to secure a 2-1 victory when the game seemed destined for extra time. Carmona's breathtaking effort came seconds after Sweden had shocked the raucous crowd with an 88th minute equalizer from substitute Rebecca Blomqvist, her guided shot off a knotted down header erasing a Spanish lead for the second consecutive game. The goal was wonderfully, prototypically Swedish in a competition where manager Peter Gerhardsson's team has relied so heavily on crosses and set pieces as the complement to its stalwart defending. A looping cross found the head of substitute Lena Hurtig, who scored the winning penalty kick against the United States in the round of 16, and she cushioned it beautifully for Blomqvist. But in women's soccer, the new guard continues to overtake the old, just as it has throughout the tournament. The highly skilled Spanish team led by Jorge Vilda played with the grace and flair that have helped the sport gain enormous popularity, and that caliber of talent was too much for an old Sweden team playing in its 5th World Cup quarterfinal. Salma Paralluelo, a teenage star, scored the game's first goal with an immediate, predatory finish on a loose ball in the area. It was her second goal in as many games, and it finally allowed her to get past the stubborn Swedish defense. Carmona, a 23-year-old rising star who completed 80% of her passes and won 5 of her 8 duels, delivered the game-winning strike 9 minutes later. Spain advances to the final with the youngest team, average age 25.3, since 1995. Sweden is flooding bodies and crosses forward in an effort to manufacture something in the final minutes of stoppage time. Spain is doing its best to slow the play down by utilizing its 3rd substitution window and wasting time on every stoppage. Goal. Spain answers right back. Unbelievable. A short corner is played to Olga Carmona on the left edge of the penalty area. She takes one touch to set herself and lasers a shot off the crossbar and in. An incredible strike. Spain now leads 2-1 in stoppage time. Goal. Sweden ties the score. Rebecca Blomqvist directs her shot into the far corner after Rebecca Blomqvist nods down Lena Hurtig's looping cross from the left end line. Both teams have now scored thanks to the impact sub. Salma Paralluelo did it first, and Blomqvist is doing it today. What a game we have before us. Salma Paralluelo's heat map, courtesy of WhoScored, demonstrates how well she has been playing. Her 14 touches have primarily occurred within or close to Sweden's penalty area. She has given Spain a completely new vitality. The question now is how Spain tries to see out this game. Do the Spanish retreat into a more defensive shape and use a low block for the remaining handful of minutes? Or do they try to kill the game by keeping the ball, maintaining possession, and preventing Sweden from generating any chances at all? We shall see. Goal. Salma Paralluelo does it again. The hero from Spain's quarterfinal win is the super sub once more. A dangerous cross from Jennifer Hermoso deflected off a Swedish defender and into the path of Paralluelo, who instinctively rifled it into the bottom corner on her first touch. Spain leads 1-0. An interesting matchup should result from the two clubs' different attacking philosophies. In general, Sweden plays more aggressively and mainly relies on set pieces to generate scoring opportunities. Spain entered today's game with 76 sequences of 10 or more passes, which ranks second behind the Netherlands and has more sequences of 10 or more passes than any other team in the competition. Sweden has only had 43 sequences of 10 or more passes in this year's tournament. In contrast, Sweden came into today's game as a very powerful right-handed team. 50% of the time that the Swedes have attacked from their right side, they have relied on crosses into the box. Spain is already attempting to counteract this by forcing Sweden to the left when building out at the back, as can be seen. The point of the press is Spain's center forward Jennifer Hermoso, who is twisting her body to force Sweden into the side it usually avoids. The inclusion of midfielder Alexia Putellas in the starting 11 for today's game was a crucial choice made by manager Jorge Vilda. After sustaining an ACL tear last year, Putellas, who has won the last 2 Ballon d'Or feminine trophies given to the world's greatest player, is still getting back to full fitness. She has only played 155 minutes and 2 starts in the competition so far. Aitana Bonmati, a fellow Barcelona midfielder who was one of the tournament's breakout stars with 3 goals and 2 assists, and Putellas have a history of on-field conflict that makes her inclusion even more controversial. No animosity exists between Putellas and Bonmati, to be clear. Instead, from similar positions, both players approach and play the game similarly, which can cause problems with spacing and spurts of disarray on the field. With Putellas out of the lineup, Bonmati has had some of his best performances of the competition. Right behind Ona Battle, has the most crosses into the penalty area of any player at the Women's World Cup with 9. With 15, she shares the lead with Spain's left defender Olga Carmen in the number of passes made into the penalty area. Defensive midfielder Teresa Abelera has the most passes into the final third of any player at the Women's World Cup with 57. With 51 progressive passes, she shares the tournament record for most progressive passes with teammate Irene Paredes. Forward Eva Navarro. Eva Navarro has served as Spain's super sub in 4 of the team's first 5 games. She has the highest rate of goal-creating activities among all players at the Women's World Cup, 1.78 per 90 minutes. Sweden is making their 5th overall appearance in the semi-finals, tied with Germany for the 2nd most in Women's World Cup history, and has advanced to back-to-back semi-finals for the first time. The Swedes are attempting to make their first appearance in the championship game since 2003, when they placed 2nd to Germany. The possible 20-year interval between World Cup final appearances would be the longest ever for a single country. Peter Gerhardsson, the Sweden manager, is in charge of his 4th big competition. His team has established itself as one of the greatest in the world, as indicated by its number 3 world ranking into this year's World Cup. He has advanced to the semi-finals in each of them. Sweden has a record of 7 wins, 4 draws, and 0 loses in its 11 games versus Spain overall. With 4 goals at the Women's World Cup, center-back Amanda Eilestedt is tied for the 2nd most goals scored. All of her goals have come from set pieces. On both ends of the field, she is excellent in the air, and she excels at locating the ball on corner kicks. She is able to convert challenging opportunities into goals, as seen by her 7th place ranking at this year's World Cup with a mark of plus 1.4 goals minus expected goals, XG. Zisara Musovic, the goalkeeper who saved Sweden's victory over the United States in the round of 16, has allowed just 1 goal in 180 minutes. She has made 18 saves, which puts her in 3rd place overall, and a startling plus 2.4 post-shot XG minus goals allowed, showing that she is capable of going above and beyond the call of duty to make tough saves. Midfielder Kosovare Aslani, Stina Blackstenius, who plays at number 10, is the heart and spirit of this Sweden side. She is a crucial player for the Swedes in transition, which will be important as they try to press this Spanish team that values possession.